Welcome back, visit home. You're still tuned in right here on Prime Live. Tonight, we are joined by a veteran on the South African comedy circuit and a unique force in the entertainment industry. Tonight, he will share with us in terms of how he uses his trademark wit and wisdom to explore life's absurdities and the complexities of modern society. I am talking about Dr. Riaad Moosa, who is once again on our platforms or within vicinity in terms of tickling our funny bones with his brand new comedy show titled What's the Point? Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Musa. Jazakallah so much for joining us tonight.
Wa alaikum salam. Can you guys hear me?
Now, loud and clearly, alhamdulillah. Now, my
But
first.
it seems like I'm not sure if my video is freezing every now and then.
Oh,
Is it
yes,
freezing?
it is. It is.
Okay. All right. I don't know what's happening over there. It must be really cold here in Cape Town.
Oh, yeah, Allah. You know, one thing that's quite interesting, I never thought in my entire life I would be saying Dr. Musa and I'm introducing a comedian. How times have changed. But
Neither did my parents.
exactly.
You share that sentiment with my parents.
Now, your latest show is titled What's the Point? Can you tell us a bit on what really inspired this new show and most importantly, what message you're hoping to convey to your audience during the show?
Well, this show actually deals with a lot of serious topics. It's honestly speaking, the show was born out of the genocide in Gaza
Okay.
and me trying to grapple with meaning. And after witnessing, the horrors that we've all been witnessing over the past few years, and I know it's a comedy show, so obviously I don't get into the heavy stuff from the get-go, but this show is also a result of me getting older, so I grapple with a lot of issues of meaning and purpose and what is happening and unfolding in the world politically. So I know it sounds extremely serious,
Yeah.
but they say tragedy plus time equals comedy, and I actually hope that the show will not only be something that people will make people laugh, but also make people think and hopefully feel some catharsis. It's actually a very it's been a healing experience for me to apply my art form to dealing with the genocide and cruelty that exists in the world.
And this is quite a very unique platform because at times when we're talking about all things genocide and Palestine, we're sitting down, it's either in conferences or seminars or even just demonstrating in the streets of, wherever we live in that sense. But in a sense of a comedy, sticky. But then after all, you are a veteran. I'm sure you're going to literally execute this excellently so and driving home a very deeper and more serious and encouraging message. And I think one thing that's quite interesting also is that you have actually performed What's the Point across various venues around the country. How has the audience reception varied across different cities and what can audiences expect from this new show?
So I think they'll expect that they'll see a maturity in also me.
Okay.
If people been following my career for a long period of time, I still try and ensure that everybody gets to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So when they come to a Riaad Moosa show, usually it's a family experience.
Yeah.
And this show, however, is just a little bit more thematically mature. But I do talk about my kids, I do talk about my family as well, and our experiences traveling everywhere and the lessons we've learned. But this is the underlying theme of the show is spiritual
Okay.
and it does grapple with serious things, but that's underlying. On top of that, peppered throughout the thing are loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of jokes, which hopefully will make you belly laugh. And I hope to make you laugh at the most difficult parts of human nature. so that you can actually experience some relief and catharsis, because it's something that we all need. And it's almost like me trying to even go back to my medical doctor roots and actually try and, actually provide some healing, but not only for the people who come see the show, but for me as well. Just writing the show has been very healing for me. But I'm very interested in people seeing it, and it's been very interesting to see about like people from all different races actually how they experience the show, because I do also grapple into race issues and dynamics and superiority and power and self worship and the ego and all of that underneath. I know. This sounds like an unusual comedic experience, but it's, if you think of a Riaad Moosa show, a normal Riaad Moosa show, just underlying it, there's a subtle thread of da'wah, sometimes not subtle. It's sometimes quite aggressive, but hopefully hilariously so. And it's very nice to see how non-Muslims also react to the topics that I bring up. And by doing the show everywhere for people from all races, it's so interesting to see. And it's been enjoyable in the sense that I see that the world is not as divided as we think it is, or as what is portrayed on social media. It almost seems like on social media we are losing our humanity, but in the space of comedy, with people from all different backgrounds and all different races and all different ages, you see that humanity is also alive and well, and yeah. So this is me just trying to delve into the deeper questions of existence, and making a lot of jokes at the same time.
Now, Dr. Musa, as you delve into the absurdities and the chaoticness that exists in the world, I want to find out from you, how exactly do you actually, or what approach do you use in blending humor with such profound topics?
I try things out. So, comedy is sort of an experiment. I
Okay.
have ideas in my mind that are funny, but it's a performance art form. So I can't know what's good until I'm in front of an
Oh,
audience.
wow.
And then it's like the audience lets me know. If I hear the laughter and it's as hard as I want it to be, then that is my cue. So I've been doing comedy for many years, about 20 years professionally now, and I have more experience and understand what is going to make people laugh. But especially when I venture into uncharted territory, then it sometimes becomes difficult. But comedy is written on the stage. It's a performance art form, and I just talk about things that I find meaningful and things that are personal. And I find that the most effective comedy is the comedy that's truthful, that people get, and resonates with them. And those laughs usually come from the center of their being. People, you get these belly laughs. It's not a clever turn of phrase or an intelligent or quick saying. It's something that you just know. I've been through that, and I know what it means. And that was so silly, and I did that, and we can laugh at like what we do, all the insane things we do as humans.
Speaking about your very risky approach in terms of trying it out in the audience, was there a time that you said a joke and there was like utter silence, and now you had to try and maneuver the space where maybe you said another joke, or like how
Yeah.
did you come out of it?
No, that's the nature of comedy.
Mm-mm.
The nature of comedy is just, however, the more confident you get, you can really, move on very quickly.
Okay.
But when I was younger, it was horrific, right? And the good thing about comedy also is one of the art forms. The better you get, sometimes the worse you get, or more famous you get, the worse you get as a comedian, because then you lose your relatability. It's
Oh,
very different to music. So yeah, musicians and other artists, when they achieve, sort of fame, when I say that in inverted commas,
commas.
they somewhat are elevated
Mm,
and almost deified sometimes. And that is not a good thing as a comedian. A comedian has got to be in the dirt.
yeah.
The comedian has to be somebody that's relatable, and the comedian is a leveler. The comedian pokes fun at the king. It's a way for you know ordinary people to um, to level the playing field. It's part of the game. Sometimes I'm gonna shoot a shot and it's gonna not gonna go in.
Mm,
Um, but it's like everybody has a bad day at your work. Everybody has a bad day. The only difference with me is if I have a bad day, then everybody knows. It's very clear that I'm having a bad day. Like you can just go, oh, I need another cup of coffee or whatever, whatever. But for me, it's on full display
yeah.
because I play laughs. So I'm almost a conductor of laughter. And when the laughter doesn't come, that's a problem. That's a problem. But people have really been laughing a lot at the show. And it's also been, I think, a lot of people have been moved by the show.
And now, with that being said, how does the South African comedy, scene compare to the likes of, the international stages? And what unique challenges or rewards does that offer?
So South African comedians are sort of entering onto the world stage in mass
Okay.
because we have a very unique perspective. Um, we sort of people haven't been overexposed to South Africans, and especially people from my background. So you've got the white South African that is generally known, and then you've got like Luis Ogola or Tumi Morake. Even Trevor Noah is big, but then people don't know when I am introduced onto stage overseas. Please welcome from South Africa, Riaad Moosa, and then I come out and it's like, what? What's this? Is this? Are you from South Africa? And what is that accent? That's weird. Your first language English speaker, and you speak like that. What? Oh, what? So I am a person that's unique when I go overseas, very much, and people don't know how to uh, put me into a category.
Yeah.
So that gives me a lot of opportunity to answer a lot of questions up front.
Wow.
So in the past, I wouldn't answer the questions and I would just get into my material. And then I would find that the audience didn't connect with me well. But then once I started talking about these questions, these unanswered questions that everybody has in the audience, then I find I connect with them quicker, and then I can also take them on a sort of a more unique journey. So a lot of times overseas, the first question is my accent and how I speak. So I make fun of that a lot overseas, and my sort of my background, and that contextualizes me, and then from then on I can pretty much do what I usually do.
And with that being said, I mean, starting off the conversation, as I said, Dr. Musa, a comedian, and you find that there are individuals out there who are trying to pursue something they're passionate about in the scene of, all things comedy. But yet again, they are like, stuck in between choosing your cliched career fields versus being a comedian at that sense. What advice would you share with them tonight in terms of pursuing both, or even just boldly um, um, taking in being a comedian?
Well, look here, I always wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
I'd never wanted to be a performer. My whole life, I wanted to be a doctor. Both my parents are doctors.
Wow.
My dad's orthopedic surgeon with a super specialty in hand surgery. You know, my brother, the only one who didn't want to work in a hospital, um, is the one who actually has ended up working in a hospital.
Wow.
But that's through property and finance and things of that nature. My sister's also a medical doctor. Um, so I always wanted to do medicine, and to a certain extent, I still do, which is why I'm also trying to bring in more maybe entertaining wellness initiatives. So I want to do healing and wellness and health initiatives, but do it in a funny way. So then I can merge my two careers. But I always wanted to be a doctor.
Wow.
And then I just happened to be a person who happened to like performing at times during the orals at school and maybe in some class plays. And I just happened to have a knack for doing impersonations. But this was not something that obviously was a career path or a career choice. Um, I did, then in university, I got exposed to stand up comedy, fourth year medicine, and I got exposed to stand up comedy. And I just thought this was the most amazing art form I've ever experienced. My, I have been exposed to funny people. My grandfather was hilarious, and he was a masterful joke teller.
Yeah.
He used to always like naturally have people in stitches just by, you know, his command of the room. He had natural ability. And I used to see that and I used to love that. But I never thought I would want to do comedy. And I'm a generally shy, introverted person. But when I saw the stand up, I wanted to try it. And you know, once you get that laugh and you know, you really it just felt right. And I really enjoy the process of writing jokes and being creative with jokes and performing it for the first time. Because at first time you don't know if it's gonna work, and when it works, it's a huge um, sort of a release. And I
Yeah.
like that process. The second time I've made you laugh already, but the first time is a really special experience, and I just like that. Even if I didn't make it my primary career, I would still hope I'd like to do stand-up comedy. I just really appreciate the art form, and I really like the fact that, you know, when people meet me, usually they smile. They just like, you know, they look like they see when they see me, they look like they see a firework. You know, so it's like when I'm exposed to people, then people you know, generally get happy uh, uh, because hopefully, like, I'm giving them a bit of uh, I'm a natural antidepressant, as Chris Rock put it. So I really appreciate that. I have a lot of gratitude for that, that I can do that. But at the same time, a part of me still also wants to do real medicine, like even with Gaza. You know, like, I mean, so many doctors and stuff are going over, and I was just thinking, like, yeah, bruh, I can't even put up a drip anymore. Like, I suck. You know, I really need to do something real, and also get my hands dirty. So maybe I will do a little bit of, you know, refresher courses and stuff like that. But at the same time, I do want to maybe use both my careers, do wellness things in a funny way, and in that way, you know, I can you know, do both.
Dr. Musa, Jazakallah so much, for joining us and really giving us an insight in terms of how or what approaches you actually, use in terms of ensuring that you are making us laugh and keeping us laughing. And inshallah, we're wishing you nothing short of the best. And inshallah, you would be getting your hands dirty in terms of getting to know or remember how to insert the drip once again. But Jazakallah so much.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much.
Viewers at home, that was Dr. Riaad Moosa, who was telling us all about his new comedy show, What's the Point? Make sure you do check out some of the venues that he will be hosting the comedy show, and yeah, tell us about it through our social media platforms. But for now, let's head over to an ad break. We'll see you just after this.